What's up, everyone? My name is Brady, and this is Be All In Sports Picks, and we are balling out on some NFL action this week. We got the Philadelphia Eagles taking on the Cincinnati Bengals. Both teams coming off two straight wins. The Cincinnati Bengals looking good in their last couple wins, not necessarily too much on the offensive side of the ball, but they're seeming to pick it up on the defensive side. We've been looking at some picks for this game, thinking how we're going to go. And we've been noticing there's some major discrepancies across the sports books in a couple of these things. I'm noticing first off that this Jalen Hurts rushing yards, this pick goes from 35 and a half right now on DraftKings to the same odds for 31 and a half on FanDuel. To me, that's one of those things that even if I'm wrong, I'm right. So I am going to hit that pick. I'm going to take the 31 and a half rushing yards for Jalen Hurts this weekend. That is going to be my big pick of this week on this Philadelphia Eagles and Cincinnati Bengals game. Like I said, both teams coming off two straight wins. You got the Eagles who had just beaten the Giants and the Browns pretty handily in both games. Struggled a little bit with the Browns. Absolutely mopped the floor with the Giants. And then on the other hand, you got the Bengals sitting at that 3-4 record, trying to get back to that 500 mark. Last two games, they've successfully beaten the Browns as well and the Giants. A little bit more competitive in both games, but still were able to pull it off. I'm going to go full in, say the Bengals are going to win this by 6. And again, I love the Jalen Hurts over rushing yards. Josh, what do you say on this one?
Unfortunately, I tend to agree with you there on both parts. The Bengals definitely win this game. It's going to be a barn burner, in my opinion. I think a lot of fantasy points. It's going to be fantasy euphoria. So fire up everybody you have in there, especially Devontae Smith, AJ Brown, Saquon. Although I think Saquon has a bit of more of a down game. He's not going to get 176 yards rushing, but for fantasy wise, he's still going to be good for 18 points, I'd say. Bengals win it probably in a high-scoring game, 31-28, 35-31, somewhere along those lines. I don't know if the 6 points, that seems a lot to me because the Eagles can definitely, if they're firing all cylinders, they can keep up. So it's going to be really interesting to watch, and I love the Jalen Hurts rushing yards. I mean, we look back and the Bengals basically give over 25 yards to Jacoby Brissett. I don't even know that guy can run. So if he can 25 yards,
when you see a discrepancy like that in the books, that automatically tells me that one of them is wrong and one of them is right. I'm going to go that lower. When I see that DraftKings has it 4 yards above the FanDuel mark for the same odds, it looks like a kill spot.
Yeah, I agree with that. And that's really weird that there's that big of a discrepancy. They're not always in line with each other, so to speak, but usually it's a yard or two. For betting purposes, 4 yards is a lot. That's a big, big difference. So you need to look for that stuff. All of us bettors out there, look for those anomalies that you're like, that doesn't seem right to me. And there's a reason why it's that way. You find those anomalies and hit it hard. I love that bet. And I also love the Bengals. What is the spread in this game here? Let me double check here.
It was
what
are we checked?
-3. So since he's laying 3 points, I'll take Cincy in the 3 points. I'd bet that hard.
I'll take them there too. I mean, I think they're going to win by 6. So
yeah,
we're disagreeing on the 6-point spread, but we're agreeing on that 3-point, and definitely nailed the Jalen Hurts on FanDuel. The same being said, I wouldn't go to DraftKings and take 35 and a half. I would go to DraftKings and maybe try and get a parlay piece where you can get Jalen Hurts over 25 yards rushing, because you're still going to get decent odds. Team that up with something else, either from another game that you like or something else from this game. I could see Joe Burrow definitely throwing a touchdown, maybe 2 touchdowns in this one as well.
I like that. I was going to say, if you can get alternate yards on DraftKings or another sportsbook, whatever one you're using, for Jalen Hurts around the 31-32 mark, that's a great parlay piece. Use that, and I would stack that with the Bengals in the spread, laying 3 points. Bengals, we all know. Right. Yeah, we all know the Bengals do well in October. That's Joe Burrow's forte. they kind of they go on their little run and, become competitive, which I think they're going to be a borderline playoff team. I think they make the playoffs, believe it or not, somehow, some way. They're just too good, too much talent. T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, again, everybody in there, fire them up. If you find a bet you like, is 70 yard receiving for either one of those guys, or even A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. Again, always try to parlay it like you do and get the alternate yards, get them lower, make good pieces, 3 or 4 picks, and then go with that and let's win some money.
Obviously, if you can find 2 good picks that you truly think are going to hit, whether it's going up in yards on some of your certain receivers, like your studs, I don't mind taking them for maybe 50 yards receiving if I feel very confident they're going to hit that, and then teaming them up with one of those other 25-yard parlay pieces. I like all that. So going Jalen Hurts in FanDuel, 31.5 rushing yards, the over. And we're also going to take the Bengals at the -3 spread. So there you have it. We're balling out on some Bengals and Eagles picks here, and we're going to jump on to the next one.
Ball out and win some money.
All right, we're back. We are balling out on some more picks here. We're talking about the Baltimore Ravens taking on the Cleveland Browns. I'm going to let you start on this one, Josh. Give us your take.
This is a good game, I think. Division matchup. We all know Deshaun Watson is now out for the year. I think Jameis Winston getting inserted into the starting lineup is going to do nothing but help the Browns offense. And the Ravens, they've been on a roll. They won 5 in a row. They are crushing it, looking like one of the best teams, if not the best team in the NFL, if you will. However, the spread in this game is 8.5. Division games, it's really hard to cover that spread as hot as the Ravens are. And we've seen this NFL year, lots of upsets and more in closer games than we, were predicting. Last week was a kind of an anomaly. There was some, blowouts. It'll happen any given Sunday. But my prediction for this game is Ravens win the game, but I think the Browns and their defense finally come to play and actually keep it closer, and they cover the 8.5 point spread. Book it. The Browns cover the spread. Don't win the game, but keep it close. Jameis Winston is going to be throwing deep shots to Cedric Tillman. Not all day long, but there's probably going to be 3 or 4 deep balls. I think he completes at least one of them, and Tillman makes his mark too. That's another one. Cedric Tillman is 6'3", 220 pounds. He's a big body receiver, and he loves going deep, and Winston loves throwing deep. So it's almost kind of a match made in heaven for the team.
Sometimes to his detriment.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's going to be to his
detriment. 5 interceptions.
Yeah, he's going to throw some ducks for sure, and he's probably going to have 3 turnovers, 2 picks, a fumble, 3 picks, whatever. But it's going to be enough to keep this game closer than what everybody's thinking, because the Ravens, you can pass on the Ravens. And Chubb just coming off injury, a serious injury. He'll be part of the game plan, but he's not going to be full strength. So the Browns are going to have to pass. And, again, they keep it close, cover the 8.5 spread. That's a good play for me. And I got money on it, so book it.
All right. I like it. I like the plus 8.5 pick a lot. Again, I don't think we mentioned Baltimore 5-2, Cleveland 1-6. I tend to when a team has won 5 straight games compared to the team that's lost the 5 straight games.
Yeah,
I tend to lean more towards I do realize how good the Ravens are, realize how good they're playing, but it's just the way it works. Anytime you have five games in a row, it's hard to win 5 games in the NFL in a row. And it's also difficult to lose 5 games in a row in the NFL in most team circumstances. Brown circumstances might be even worse this week because they are missing Watson. But like you said, Jameis Winston coming in, I'm not so sure it's that bad.
Yeah. Winston's not much of a downgrade. Watson has been the worst quarterback since 2000. Jamarcus Russell is thanking Watson because Watson was actually worse than Jamarcus Russell. He's probably the biggest bust of all time. And he's saying, thanks, Watson, because I don't look so bad now. You got $230 million. I only got $50 million guaranteed. So
Winston's got his upside. I like him. I
Yeah,
like the fact that he's going to go out there and probably not have a care in the world. He's going to be
right.
tossing that ball all over the place. I don't,
Exactly.
you
He
know,
don't
and with
care.
Nick Chubb getting worked back in, second game back,
Yeah.
you don't know how much they're going to want to put on him. But Jameis seems like the kind of guy that he doesn't really care. He'll take the load if he needs to.
So put it this way: look what Joe Flacco did with this offense last year. Flacco was on his couch, eating Cheetos in his basement, watching
Don't get me
football.
started about Flacco. That's my team right now, and right now I would
Right?
probably rather see him as my quarterback than who we
Well,
have.
yeah, I agree with that. But I'm saying Flacco entered this offense and made this offense very viable last year to when they made the playoffs, and he lit it up.
Yeah,
Winston
he
is
made him relevant.
Winston didn't win a Super Bowl. I get that they're different quarterbacks, but Winston has the same kind of mentality of, hey, I'm just gonna go chuck it. And you know what? I'm still getting paid. We're 1-6. Who cares? I'll just throw the ball and see what happens. Let's have some fun and eat some W's. Now, he's gonna eat a loss, but they're gonna keep it close.
I agree. I think they will. I think, like I said, all those reasons. If a team's won that many in a row, and plus, if you look at some of their other games, they have had a couple that have been blowouts, but
Yeah.
they, for the most part, a lot of those games, even the ones that shouldn't have been close, remain close. So I agree with you there. I think the Browns do keep it competitive. I love that +8 spot. Let's talk about that one other pick that here until recently I was all over it as well, but now
Oh,
I've kind of tamed myself down a little bit. Do you want to? We'll discuss this one. The last night when we were discussing stuff, we noticed Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry does not have a good history against the Cleveland Browns. I
mhm.
know he's played for the Tennessee Titans previously, so their rushing attack was much different than what it is now. But he's had pretty much one viable game against these guys in his entire career. I'm just going to go with the fact that he has torn up so many teams recently. He's been on a killer hot streak, but sometimes the streak does come to an end. Not saying that he's going to have a bad game. Completely not what I'm saying there. He's probably going to get, uh, 80 rushing yards, maybe a
That's solid.
touchdown, probably a touchdown as well. And he'll probably get in some receiving yards as well. But the main thing that we are talking about and discussing is the rushing yards. Last night when we looked, this opened up at 99.5. I got to be honest, I'm kicking myself right now because I did not jump all over that and attack it.
Damn it, Bobby.
But now we waited. It has gone to 97.5. We don't hate it, but I'm not in love with it like I was the under 100 that I saw last night. I would tend to maybe stick with a different piece now. Go see if you can get Derrick Henry at under 105.5. I think it's at -160 on DraftKings right now. If you can get that on the under and then take that with a later game, something that you feel is positively going to hit for you, I would team it up with that because it's not going to take much to get you in the plus odds there with the Derrick Henry under 105.5. And I don't think he's going to hit 105 this time.
Yeah, I mean, I still love the 97.5. The dude, for fancy purposes, in PPR has had 25.2 points the last two games, exactly on the number, which is very odd. And obviously, he had 69 yards rushing or whatever it was last week. He's been killing it. All good things come to an end. I don't see him actually tearing it up. Again, he's going to have a good game, but I'd be comfortable going under 95 yards rushing for him, believe it or not. I will call that right now just because the Browns are going to come to play. They're going to be rejuvenated, I think, with Watson gone, because I don't think many people, they don't say it, but let's be honest, he wasn't helping the team a lot on the offensive side of the ball. So I just see the Browns being rejuvenated, and they're going to come to play. It's their rival against the Ravens. Obviously, the Ravens left Cleveland, so they're going to want to beat them. I'd be confident taking Derrick Henry under 97.5 yards. I would bet that and piece it with something else. I would piece it with the Browns covering the spread, and let's win some money.
All right, there you have it. So those are our picks. People, we balling tonight and this weekend. Let's go. See you
Ball
later.
out. Let's do it.